What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another episode of the Premier League Perspective, where we take a look at the week's games and we kind of review them. We go through our score predictions, and we've got the scores on the doors between me and Simeon at the moment is 49-44 to Simeon. So we'll see how we get on with this one. The first game we're going to look at is Manchester City against Wolves, which finished 4-1 to Man City. It was 1-1 going late into the game. Obviously, I went 2-0, you went 2-0, but it was late, 1-1 going into the game, and then Man City just suddenly found buckets of goals from nowhere.
Yeah, in last few minutes, they got 3 goals to kill that game. Very impressed from City again. Gabriel Jesus getting a couple of goals. Again, showing their title credentials, weren't they, Man City? And
Champions-elect.
Yeah, we all know they're going to win the league, and it's been clear for a while. Wolves gave it a good crack, got back in the game with that goal from Conor Cody, but they couldn't hold out. And again, even without Sterling, without Foden, doesn't matter who they don't play, Mahrez stepped up, Jesus stepped up, and they end up getting the win yet again. Mahrez was, I thought, brilliant, by the way. Mahrez, I thought, was absolutely exceptional.
So the scores on the doors, we both gain a point there, 50-45, 5-point gap at the moment. The next game we're going to look at is Burnley against Leicester, which finished 1-1. I went 0-0, you went 1-0 to Burnley, so I gained a point on you there. Did you see much of this?
Yeah, I did. I watched it, and Burnley were very unlucky. Kasper Schmeichel had a very good game, really good game. So
top quality keeper. I mean, he's playing better than ever at the moment. I feel that game he really was amazing.
Yeah, and they hit the post as well. I know Leicester had a few chances, but they started the game really well. Burnley, they got that early goal, and then it was a real moment of quality from Iheanacho. But if you look at it again, I think Nick Pope will be very disappointed in himself how he dealt with that goal, because he's completely caught out of position, and Iheanacho did well to get the volley on target, to be fair, but all he had to do was get it on target because of Pope's decision to come out, and that obviously left the goal open. Both sides had a few chances. I would say Burnley probably had the more of the chances than Leicester, and probably they'll feel unlucky they didn't win the game, but decent point for them, and Leicester continue to drop.
Their implosion is well underway, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit similar to last season. It's a similar sort of point of the season as well.
Yeah, very similar.
So
all of a sudden, we're not
Brendan's
too far
got to
off.
have a look at things.
Yeah.
Let's go on. The score 50-46 as we move on to Sheffield United against Aston Villa, which finished 1-0 to Sheffield United. We both went 1-0 to Villa.
We did.
So that's a turn up for the books. I mean, Sheffield United starting to get a couple of results here and there.
Yeah, they're not going down without a fight, are they? And you can even say that after it was, I think, 55 minutes, they got a red card, Jagielka, which I thought VAR overturned it. It was originally a yellow, and they gave a red. I thought it was very harsh. I didn't think it was a red, and I thought that was a weird decision by VAR. But yeah, you got to say credit to Sheffield United. McGoldrick getting the goal, really nice goal as well, sliding in at the back post. And Villa had no response with no Grealish. They're really struggling, and obviously I think Grealish is back for the next game. But without Grealish, they are struggling a bit.
They are struggling, aren't they? I mean, they're really stuttering form at the moment, Aston Villa.
Yeah,
it's a weird one because they can't really score and they're not really conceding much either.
It's very tight games, but they lack that edge when Grealish isn't playing. Like the other players, McGinn, Traore, Watkins even, and Barkley, they're just not the same without Grealish. He kind of is the central hub. Exactly. Everything goes through them. Even when they're in good positions, it's usually because he's found them there and they can get into dangerous positions. But without Grealish, they lack that creative edge they have.
Palace against Manchester United was a bore draw 0-0. We both went 2-1 to United, and how wrong were we? I mean, this was the most dire game I think I've seen this whole season.
Yeah, it was horrific. The only chance really was right at the end when and Van Aanholt had right in the last minute had a chance to score, and Henderson stopped him. Other than that, United, I think United, first of all, only won 3 of their last 10. They are still unbeaten away from home, so you've got to give them credit there. But you got to say, Man United, they haven't been in good form lately, and this result is not a surprise, drawing to Palace. And this is a Palace without Wilfried Zaha either. And Palace will probably feel... Look, I think the draw was fair, but I think Palace will feel annoyed they didn't win it late on.
Yeah, just because of that chance.
Yeah, but, it's... before in the season, United were winning these games through. They were playing very similar. They were just getting a goal out of the blue, basically, either a mistake or like a Pogba 25-yard or a Bruno goal or penalty, and they were getting through games. But when that's not happening,
because they look down and out sometimes in games, go 1-0 down, but they would always seem to get it back, and now their luck seems to be running out a bit.
Yeah, and now at the moment, they could even be dropping out the top 4 sooner rather than later, the way things are going. So
things you love to see if it happens.
They're second at the moment, but it's, I think they're only 5 points away from 5th at the moment.
Yeah.
We're 9 points away with the game in hand currently. So,
and they got Man City this weekend.
Exactly. So it's all the United have to up their game again.
Fulham, Spurs, we beat them 1-0. We both went 2-0. But look,
I think I said 2-1. Yeah, I said 2-1.
You said 2-1. I said 2-0. But it wasn't the most vintage display. I think if this game was 1-1, do you think anyone's complaining? I mean, obviously we're complaining as a fan base, but I'm talking about the way the game went.
No, I think Fulham would have deserved the point. I think Fulham played really well, and they penned us back in that second half, and they did well to pressurise us and try and force a result. They got really unlucky with the VAR decision, which is now the rules being overturned, but so we got lucky there. But I think we did well in the first half to get ourselves 1-0 up and put in a good display. And we, despite the goal that we conceded, we dug in really deep and we defended well. And despite Fulham putting us under a lot of pressure, they didn't create too many clear-cut openings. So I think at the end of the day, we take the win.
Last couple of games now. This is the money games. These are the money games. West Brom against Everton. Finished 1-0 to Everton. Exactly spot on from myself. Unfortunately, not for you. You were nearly spot on, but it just wasn't to be on the day.
Yeah, just like West Brom saved me last week with their win against Brighton. They let me down this time. The 1-1.
The fine lines of Premier League football.
They literally scored in the 93rd minute to make it 1-1, but it was about a millimetre offside, so they gave it. I didn't see the game because obviously Spurs won at the time, although I was following it. West Brom had so many chances. They would be really, really disappointed that they didn't get a goal in this game and they didn't get anything, because I thought they were the better team. I really did. If you see the chances they created, and also that striker Diagna, he's a real handful. He's hit
the ground running since he's come to the Premier League.
Yeah, he's been really impressive. He got that goal in the last minute that was ruled out. That was really unlucky, but it was a threat all day for Everton. Everton really struggled to deal with him, and it's only because of good goalkeeping from Pickford and a bit of a lax finishing from Diagna is why they got the clean sheet. And obviously they got that moment of quality. Sigurdsson with a really good ball into the box, and Richarlison getting his head on it just ahead of the keeper, and it's a goal and 1-0. But West Brom will be really annoyed that they didn't get anything out of it in their fight for survival. Now 9 points off 17th place Newcastle, but they play Newcastle this weekend, so big game for them. And I think they are playing well. I think performances have definitely improved for West Brom, and they've been unlucky, especially the games against United and Everton, where they probably should have taken more than a point out of both of those games. But it is what it is. They always say when you're down at the bottom, the luck never goes with you, don't they? So it is what it is with West Brom, but it's unlucky. Yeah. Should have been 1-1.
And also you got to say Richarlison for Everton's really starting to pull in with the goals as well.
He is. He's ever since we played them, the FA Cup. He was struggling in form. Then we played them, gave him a couple of goals. Now he's flying again. So Dr. Tottenham as usual.
So there you go. I go back in my rightful lead, back on top, 52 to 51. As they say, form is temporary, class is permanent. As we go into the last game, Liverpool against Chelsea. 1-0 to Chelsea, and you guessed it right. Yes, I said 1-0 Chelsea. Sim said 1-1, so that's another 5-pointer. Come on!
No, this one, fair play. Chelsea deserved it. That was a 1-0 win. Liverpool had a spell like they just pretty much carbon copy of the game against who was it? Everton. It was pretty much a carbon copy of that game where first half Chelsea were the better team, deservedly take the lead. Werner as well had a goal ruled out for a millimetre offside. And then second half, 10-15 minute spell right at the beginning, Liverpool piling on the pressure, Chelsea ride the storm, and they end up riding and getting the win. And after the last half an hour, it was pretty nothing really happened.
I mean, Chelsea are quite a boring team, but they're very resolute, aren't they?
And they're consistent.
Extremely resolute.
How many 1-0 wins in a row is that?
I mean, he's taken over 10 games, Tuchel, 8 clean sheets.
Beating Spurs 1-0, beating Atletico 1-0, and beating now Liverpool 1-0.
Do you reckon it's sustainable what they're doing though?
I reckon they're going to improve. So I reckon playing like only winning 1-0 every game probably isn't, but I think they're going to improve. I think people will adapt to how they play. That's for sure. But I think you can't be anything but impressed at the moment with how Tuchel is managing this team and setting them up and getting them to win these games, because they were in a mess when they took over, and this new manager bounce is proving maybe to be a bit more than a manager bounce at the moment. But I guess we'll see by the end of the season if they fall away. Then we'll see, because remember Ollie had a great run right when he took over, and then he went in an equally bad run pretty much, like 10 for the last 10 games of the season. So maybe you can read too much into it, but at the moment they're going great guns. Things are working out for them. They're not conceding any goals, but you get the feeling once they do start conceding a few, like maybe it'll snowball a bit once teams figure them out. But at the moment it's working well, and you can't knock them.
All right. So
and also Mason Mount, what a player, I must say.
Yeah,
just get that out there. What a player. He is brilliant.
Very well played. I mean, look, at the end of this round, it is 57-51 to me. What a swing. What a swing.
Big time. At the end of the last two games.
At the end of the last week, you were 5 points ahead, I believe.
Yeah.
You were 5 points ahead, and the week before, I think I was 5 ahead of you.
So a lot of swings around.
A lot of swings around bouts, and a lot of swings to come. And now let's get into our predictions for this weekend. And let's start off at Turf Moor. Burnley against Arsenal. I have gone 1-1.
Me too. I went 1-0. I went 1-0 as well. I think Arsenal, off the back, they obviously have those good feelings off the back of that Leicester win and the back of that Europa League triumph. But Burnley I know they lost to us 4-0 and they got the point against Leicester, so maybe they might be a bit tired, but that Turf Moor pitch is very congested, and I think they'll know how to get a point in this game, and Arsenal, I can see them struggling without space. I think I can see Arsenal taking the lead, but I think Burnley will peg them back 1-1.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can do it on a Thursday night in Greece, but can you do it? Can you do it on a Saturday morning in Turf Moor? Let's see.
We'll see.
Because I think that I got to say that Burnley, they're a completely different animal at home as where they are away.
That's true.
They really are. So I got a feeling that Burnley will nick something from this game. I was even close to going for 1-0 to Burnley. I really was.
I was close as well, but
I changed it to 1-0.
Nothing to do with us being Spurs fans at all.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Right. So that's our first prediction. Sheffield United, Southampton.
I've gone Sheffield United 1, Southampton 2.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. I've
gone Sheffield United 1, Southampton 0.
1-0 Sheffield United. I think Southampton, on their run of defeats, I think it's going to end this week. I think Carl Walker-Peters is back in the frame. He should give them a bit of extra impetus, and he'll be desperate to arrest that slide. And with Sheffield United rock bottom, I know they got their win against Villa, very dogged win, but I'm backing Southampton to break their spell and break their run and get the win here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Southampton just look shot of all confidence when I've seen them play. They really have. They're not attacking well, really, not defending well. I mean, I'm not really sure what they're doing on that pitch. They just seem completely bereft of confidence. Sheffield United, on the other hand, I mean, they're not exactly pulling out performances week in, week out, but I think that they've got the capabilities to do it. A 1-0 hard-fought victory at Bramall Lane, that's what I'm going for.
All right.
Let's move on. Aston Villa against Wolves. I have gone for a 1-1.
Me too. Wolves have gone 1-1. I think Villa, Grealish will be back, so I back them to score. But I think Wolves are a solid team. Good. I think they're good form as well. They're very tough to beat on their day. So I think they got unlucky against Man City where they conceded all those late goals. But I think they'll get a point in this one. Yeah,
it's a Midlands derby. Neither team are going to want to lose this game. It's a big game up in the Midlands. So I think Jack Grealish, he won't miss this game. There's no chance he's missing this game.
He's playing. I think he's already confirmed playing.
And Wolves as well. I mean, they're starting to hit a bit of somewhat form as well, getting a few results apart from that Man City game, obviously, but everyone's losing to Man City. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tight game. To be honest, I can see either side nicking it 2-1 as well, but I just went 1-1 to be safe.
1-1. All right.
Brighton against Leicester.
I have gone Brighton to win 2-1.
Really?
2-1
I've gone for
Brighton.
0-0.
0-0. I think Brighton have missed so many chances in their past 3 games, like so many. I think if they keep playing that way and they keep plugging away and creating those chances, the goals will come. And I think with this Leicester team maybe lacking a bit of confidence with their recent run, they got the 1-1 draw against Burnley, but could have easily conceded a lot more goals in that game. And I know they're a good team, Leicester, even without their injured players right now. But I think Brighton are going to be so desperate to get back to winning ways after a good run before their recent run of their last 3 games where they haven't scored, but they're playing well. So I think they're going to play well again in this game, and I'm backing them to win.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about them missing so many chances in the last couple of games. It's a madness.
Amount.
It is
mad, like 60 shots or something.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is,
crazy.
It is. But when you look at the facts, both teams are really struggling for goals at the moment. Both teams are struggling for results at the moment. Leicester are imploding at the moment. They really are. It seems similar to, like I said before, it seems similar to what they were doing last season. Brighton, I think, even though they're losing games, I still think they're playing with a bit of confidence about them. They just can't put the ball in the back of the net. So yeah, I've gone 0-0. I think it'll be a tight game, because I think even Leicester, with them imploding, I still think they're putting in some sort of performance levels.
Yeah, they're not awful, but I think, I agree with that. They've got fight left in them, Leicester, but I reckon just they'll be out on their feet, and I can see Brighton taking advantage.
West Brom, Newcastle. I have gone 1-0 to West Brom.
I've gone 2-0 West Brom.
Oh, 2-0
West Brom I've gone.
I changed it 0-0 to 1-0 quite
last
quick.
minute.
Yeah.
I think West Brom playing really well at the moment, despite not getting the results. I think Newcastle is pretty much, even though it's the perfect opponent for them for how they're playing and also for the table as well, chance to catch up on 17th place, chance to cut the gap to 6 points, which all of a sudden looks achievable, which probably wasn't a few weeks ago. And I think they're going to win this one. I really do. I think they're in good form. Diagne, as we were saying before, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's done really well. I'll back him to get a goal. And I think they'll get another goal from somewhere else, maybe Pereira. So I've gone 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone 1-0 West Brom. I'm liking the way West Brom are playing at the moment. I was going to go 0-0 just because when you see dogfights at the bottom, sometimes it's a bit of a game of cat and mouse. The other team are waiting for the other team, and more often than not, it's just a case of we can't lose this game. And sometimes it does end up in a draw. I think more times than not, it probably does end up in a draw. But I think the way Newcastle are playing at the moment, they've just fallen off a cliff. And especially with their attacking injuries, I can't see them getting a goal. West Brom, like I said, I think they're playing well. I think it'll be a tight game as well. I don't think there'll be much in it, but I think West Brom will just about nick it, maybe with Diagne.
Yeah, I think West Brom winning this one.
All right, let's move on to Liverpool-Fulham.
Despite Liverpool's recent results of struggling, I've gone for them to not play well but scrape it 1-0. I've
gone for them to not play well and to scrape it 1-1.
1-1, scrape a point.
I think I've been really impressed with how Fulham are playing. They've already taken points off Liverpool this season. They've taken points off big teams this season. Liverpool have lost 5 in a row now at Anfield. So I back them to get a point, not take the 3 points, but 1-1.
1-1. That'll be a good result.
Man City, Manchester United.
I've gone Man City to win 3-1.
I've gone 2-0.
2-0. I think there should be goals in this. I think United, I say there should be goals in this, but United's all last games against the Big Six have all been 0-0.
Apart from against us.
But I feel like they know that. They know it's been 0-0 so long, and this game against City, they're going to, especially knowing that they're so far behind City, in a way, the pressure's off. Because they're so far behind, if they were close to them, the pressure might be on.
To stay in the top 4.
The pressure, no, not pressure. I'm not saying the pressure's off totally in terms of their league. I'm saying the pressure's off in terms of getting a result against City in the title race because they're so far behind. So they might let loose a bit and actually go for it and go for the win. No, because knowing that knowing that a defeat doesn't really set them back in the title race, it might set them back in the top 4 race, but they're not going to get much closer to City anyway. So they might just go for it. But Man City as well, playing obviously exceptionally well at the moment. I've gone for City to score 3 goals.
Wow. I've gone 2-0. I think it's going to be a standard game for Man City like they've been doing the last couple of weeks, a lot of passing, a lot of movement, and just doing the job, just doing enough to do the job. I've not been impressed with Man United whatsoever. That's why I've gone 2-0 Manchester City. Spurs Crystal Palace. I have gone 3-0.
3-0. I've gone 2-1.
2-1.
We've
both gone 3 goals.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling that Palace are going to be sitting back. It's going to be a bit similar to that Burnley game, and I think that we can really go for them. I really believe that, and I think that if we can get an early goal, like we say every game, then we can really push on and win this game.
I think I can see us going 2-0 up and then sitting back a bit, and I can see Palace snatching a goal and us holding on late, which won't be comfortable, but I can definitely see how that's gonna go. I think Zaha being back will give him a lift, give him an extra bit of impetus up front, and he might nick one. But I think Spurs, with our firepower, we should be able to get a couple goals ahead and hit them early, and that's why I see the game going. But I think 2-1 Spurs.
All right, Chelsea against Everton.
I've gone 1-0 to Chelsea.
I was so close to putting 1-0. So close, but I was like, how many 1-0s can they have in a row? I was like, come on, it's not going to be again. And Everton are actually a good side as well, and they're playing well at the moment. So I've gone for Everton to get a goal, but I've gone for Chelsea to win 2-1.
2-1?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. You got more goals.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit more. I think there'll be a few more goals than there have been in recent Chelsea games. So I think Everton, like I said, they're on good form. Richarlison's on good form. I back them
3
to
clean
get a goal.
sheets in a row for Everton.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not exactly, but they're not going to keep a clean sheet against Chelsea. They'll lose the game, but I think they'll get a goal. And the last but not least, West Ham against Leeds.
What have you gone?
I've gone 2-1 to West Ham.
I've gone 3-2 to West Ham.
I had that in, and I deleted it and put 2-1.
I've gone 3-2. Yeah. Leeds lost their last game 1-0 to Villa. Won the one before 3-0 Southampton. Lost one before 1-0 to I can't remember who it was before, but they lost it.
They are the definition of a Jekyll and Hyde team, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So you never know what you're going to get. I think West Ham obviously lost to City, but they should be able to pick themselves up in this one and get the win against Leeds. They'll bounce back, but they've got a big, hard run of games coming up after this. Got United, then Leicester coming up. So if they want to really keep themselves in that top 4 fight, they need to be getting all 3 points in this one.
Talking about West Ham in a top 4 fight.
I know. Unfortunately, that's reality. Unfortunately, but I feel like this might be their last win for a few games. I feel like they could go on a run with like 3 or 4 games without a win after this. But I think they will just scrape this one 3-2, and then the run will start.
All right. So there you have it. Those are our predictions. Before that, we went through the SPUR-SPECTIVE with you and reviewed all the games that we did our predictions for last week. The scores on the doors at the moment is 51-57 to me. There is a big jump every single week. We'll see which way it goes.
Stay tuned.
Exactly. We'll see which way it goes this week. Let me know your score predictions in the comments section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.